So this is the first part of the entry into Don, the Comic Book Junkie's subscriber contest. He wanted to know how we stored our comics, where we stored our comics, just our space in general. So this is my main space here where I process all my books. This is where I end up shooting our live show. My backdrop up here. These are stuff I try to change out each week. And there's the Walking Dead frame I'm working on right there. Various other projects I tend to do. This usually right here. Where I store my comics, I just keep them in my closet. So here, my long boxes, my 4 long boxes down here. So I have a long box of Batman, long box of miscellaneous DC, and 2 boxes of Marvel. And this box here is just a box of random free comics or comics that I don't really care about that I got in a lot or something on eBay. Sometimes give them to my kid and stuff like that. Up here, where I keep all my short boxes. So this is my short box of Image comics here. This is some overflow of Marvel, so like my Avengers and Captain America. This is my Amazing Spider-Man run. Here's my Gru. This is my Punisher. This is my X-Men. And then this one here is other miscellaneous Marvel titles. And I go along here on this other shelf, so I have some of my trades, my Walking Dead trades, and just some other miscellaneous comic book related kind of stuff. And so that is it. That's where I keep my stuff. This is a side note. I get these all the time. I make deliveries with furniture, and these are in there. You just grab them out and throw them in my long boxes to help with moisture. You never know when a little moisture might kick in. So now we'll go on to step 2 of the Dawn the Comic Book Junkies contest. Okay, welcome back to Huey's Comics. This is a special kind of episode. I'm wearing a collared shirt, wondering what the occasion is. So we're actually doing the second part to Dawn the Comic Book Junkie 1,000 subscriber contest, and he wanted our spouses in the video to ask a few questions. I guess we'll let my wife introduce herself and maybe give a little backstory about us.
Us as a couple?
Huh?
Us
Yes,
as a couple?
yeah, us as a couple.
Okay. Well, my name's Leslie, and I'm his wife. And we've been together since December of 2003.
Mm-hmm.
We actually went to high school together, and he graduated a year before I did, but he didn't talk to me in high school.
You don't have to go that far back. Okay, go ahead.
He didn't pay any attention to me in high school, ever. But we ran into each other in a bar where we were working, and I recognized him, and I slipped him my phone number and told him to give me a call, and he didn't give me a call.
No, I did though, later.
Yeah, when I came back the next week to the bar to yell at you for not calling me, you called me after that.
Yeah, I did.
And then the rest is history because
That's
we got
been
together
13 years?
almost 13 years.
Almost 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess real quick before we jump into the questions, what do you feel about comic book movies? I mean, do you enjoy them? Do you just watch them just because I like to watch them, or what's your opinion on comic book movie?
I've always liked action movies, and I like comic book movies. When I was a little girl, I loved Catwoman and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a pair of Catwoman underoos with the little tank top and the panties. And I used
Thank you for sharing that with everybody.
I used to wait till my brother brought his friends over, and then I would get into my undies and run around to embarrass him. I was like 5.
Okay.
But I would embarrass him on purpose. But I like watching comic book movies. I guess I just always kind of thought of them as just superhero movies, and I love superheroes. So I grew up watching the Hulk and Wonder Woman and Superman, and then, you know,
Rest is history.
the Batman Joker stuff.
Yeah.
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 And then I met you and went even further. I never liked Spawn, though.
I never was a huge Spawn. I liked the comic book, but not the movie.
I never liked either.
So a little more backstory. I think most people know that I collected comics when I was a kid. Lost them all and just started collecting just over a year ago. So me collecting comics since we've been together is something relatively new. I think I've always watched comic book movies, and I think you've always known I've had an interest in comics and superhero stuff.
Sorry to sound.
So to wrap up with these questions too, it's not just going to be comics. It's my whole, I would say, comic, toy, Funko infatuation, kind of with everything with that whole culture. So that's going to be part, including with your answers on those. Mm-hmm. So the first question he wanted to know is, how do you feel about my collecting comics, as in me as an adult that gets collecting comics?
And like the comic books and everything?
Yeah, everything. Yeah,
okay.
the whole kit caboodle.
So, I absolutely adore the fact that you collect comics. It's something that makes you happy. It's something that you get excited about, and that makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm lousy at finding comics for you, although it is kind of fun to hunt some down,
mm-hmm.
and I like to pretend I know what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Last Valentine's Day we had fun. We went to that.
Yeah,
that
you and I went together. Shop. That was fun. Yeah. But I really like collecting the Funkos for you. I'm always looking at Funkos every time we go to the store. And I really appreciated you making that list online, so I don't have to call home to the children and have them send me pictures of your latest collection as I'm shopping, because I've done that before. I made the girls run downstairs and say, "Does he have this one?" Several times.
Okay.
So I like the online list. I like having something to get for you that you're excited about.
Except for my Donald Trump Funko. My Donald Trump Funko. You don't appreciate that. Okay, moving on.
I wasn't going to pay money for it. As long as I don't see it, I don't care.
Okay, so that's pretty much summed up the first question. Then the second question was, how do you feel about my collecting habits, as in where I store them, where I display them, or how much money I spend a month on them? How do you feel about those?
Well, I don't know how much money you spend each month on them, but I don't think it's very much. It seems to me that you don't want to be spending a whole lot of money on it every month.
Usually I try to keep it under $25 a week. So, and that's on my pull list. Sometimes it could be a little bit more, sometimes it could be a little bit less. But.
And that's really that much since you started the show.
Huh?
Right? You have, spending $125 is just since you started the show, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and every once in a while I'll go pick up a lot from the local guy or wherever, find them on Craigslist, and I try to flip some to make some money too.
Yeah. So, yeah, you tend to be pretty, what is the word I'm looking for? Reasonable in your collecting practices, because I know that you don't want it to be something that becomes an issue.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's why I quit picking up some of the variant covers, just because it's the same story in the same book, but just a different cover. So I really cut back on that because it seems stupid to spend twice as much money on a book when I'm getting the same story.
So. I always secretly wish I could be the one to find you like this super cool book.
Oh, you will. You can.
A super cool book, and it's like the one you've always wanted. I always secretly think about that whenever I'm looking at comic book stores.
Well, that's an Amazing Spider-Man 129. So whatever condition, I don't care.
I've got that.
Yeah.
I've got that.
Okay, so I think that was it. Those are the only 2 questions I think he had. I hope this fulfills the requirements, and I'll end up attaching the other part of the video. I think I'm going to do it at the beginning of this video, where I keep my comics and about stuff like that. So
Oh, I was supposed to ask or tell you about what I thought about where you store them.
okay, what about where I store them?
Well, you store them all over, but
All over.
yeah, it started kind of in the living room, and then they were all over the dining room, and now they're in the bedroom. And I really appreciate
They're
the
fairly.
I appreciate the fact that you've brought them into your bedroom or into your side of the closet, I should say.
Well, they were. I do stack them up out here until I get them processed as in categories in my catalog, and then do my show or do my hauls, and after that, usually I try to get them put up and put away relatively quick so they're not spread out everywhere. So
yeah, and that's nice. I don't mind them terribly. I appreciate them back here rather than in the dining room.
I do have a box hot note by the desk though.
Yeah,
Those are magazines,
Mm-hmm.
so I gotta get rid of those.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah.
And it's on your side of the closet, so we're good.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Don, for hosting this contest. Good luck to everybody else. I guess that's it for right now. I'll see you later. Bye bye.